Yeah, good morning, everyone. Hi, all the boys and girls. Okay, come to the lesson now. So, in the last class, we were discussed about the Indo-Gangetic Plain. First, central part, western part. We were discussed. So, before that, we were discussed about the in the last class Shivalik range. Also, we were discussed in the last class. Shivalik range. What is the high elevation? The width of the Shivalik range. What are the dunes are there in Shivalik range? Potley Dune, Kotli Dune. So dunes. So what are the hills are there in Shivalik range? And next Brahmaputra Valley. And in Arunachal Pradesh, no, in Arunachal Pradesh. So these Himalayan mountains are, it's take hairpin band. Arunachal Pradesh. So Himalayan mountains are extended from Jammu and Kashmir to up to Arunachal Pradesh. Arunachal Pradesh, no. So it take hairpin band and run towards the eastern states, and in eastern states, no, it had many divisions, and these divisions are called as the Purvanchal range. So the Purvanchal range is also called in different regions, different names, Mishmi Hills, Mizo Hills, like that. No, we were discussed in Kashi Hills. So we were discussed in the last class importance of Himalayan mountains. Importance of Himalayan mountains and Indo-Gangetic plains. How the Indo-Gangetic plains were formed. So in the last class we were discussing about the Indo-Gangetic plains were formed by three major rivers, three major perennial rivers, that is Ganga, Indus and Brahmaputra. Indus or Sindhu, both are same. Already I said no in the last class. I taught no. Okay, with these three rivers, no, these Indo-Gangetic plains were formed. These Indo-Gangetic plains, so broadly are divided or consisting of three divisions. One is western division, western part, central part and eastern part. Western part, central part, eastern part, right? So now already in the last class we learnt about the western part. Now coming to the central part, right? Central part, no, the central part of Indo-Gangetic plain is also called as a Ganga plain. Why it is called as a Ganga plain? No, these central part of Indo-Gangetic plain were formed by river Ganga. That's why it is called as a Ganga plain. And Ganga had some tributary river also. Some of the tributary rivers are there. What is Son, Kosi, etc., etc. These are the tributary. These rivers are tributary rivers of Ganga. The central part of Indo-Gangetic plain formed by river Ganga and its tributaries. What are the tributary rivers? Son, Kosi, etc. So these are the Ganga river tributaries. No. So the Ganga plains, no, very flat surface, and Ganga plains, no, very alluvium fertile soil. Alluvium fertile soil. Okay, these Ganga plain in which states are covered? Sir, where is Ganga plains are? In which states are? So in which states? No, one is Uttar Pradesh. Ganga plains are located in Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh, already I have written no here. Uttar Pradesh, UP, Bihar, Haryana, Jharkhand, West Bengal. Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Haryana, Jharkhand, West Bengal. In this states, no, central part of Indo-Gangetic plain. Central part of Indo-Gangetic plain. Western part formed by river Indus. Central part of Indo-Gangetic plain were formed by river Ganga. So central part of Indo-Gangetic plains are also called as a Ganga plain. So the central part of Indo-Gangetic plains are located in Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Haryana, Jharkhand, West Bengal. Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Haryana, Jharkhand, West Bengal. In the states, central part of Indo-Gangetic plains are located. Our Ganga plain is located in this state. Okay. So Ganga plain is very flat surface. Flat means gentle slopes and alluvium soil, fertile soil. It's a very suitable for growing of cultivating of many crops. Uttar Pradesh. Bihar, Haryana, Jharkhand, West Bengal area, good fertile soil. So this is the central part. Now we'll go for eastern part. So the eastern part of Indo-Gangetic plain. Eastern part of Indo-Gangetic plain. Eastern Indo-Gangetic plain. Eastern part of Indo-Gangetic plain formed by Brahmaputra river. River Brahmaputra. With Brahmaputra, no, with river Brahmaputra, eastern part of Indo-Gangetic plain were formed. How the plains are formed? These rivers are broad sediment, alluvium, fertility soil and deposited in the lowland. That's why it became either formed as a plains. Okay, the eastern part of Indo-Gangetic plain was formed by river Brahmaputra. So Brahmaputra river. So mostly it is in Assam area, Brahmaputra valley of Assam area. In that areas, no river in Assam area, the eastern part of Indo-Gangetic plain is located. Eastern part of Indo-Gangetic plain was formed by river Brahmaputra. So in which state, no, especially for Assam. In Assam, no, eastern part of Indo-Gangetic plain is located. So these are the three divisions of Indo-Gangetic plain. Okay, these no actually these Himalayan rivers no Himalayan rivers are originated. Once again, listen very carefully. Listen very carefully. These Himalayan rivers no. So originated in the Himalayan mountains in Himadri range. So these rivers, no, first it is flowing in streams. These streams are flowing through the dunes, and in some areas, no, it will be elaborated, and some of the streams are joined. Alakananda and Bhagirath, these are the two streams. These two streams are joined in Devaprayag. Joined in Devaprayag. How the Ganga river originated? Ganga river, no, Ganga had two streams, twin sources. Ganga had twin sources. We will discuss in the 5th chapter very clearly. So in 5th chapter, no, so the 5th chapter of geography, we will discuss about how the Ganga originated, what are the tributary rivers of Ganga. So where Ganga is originated. So Ganga had a twin sources. What are the twin sources? No, Alakananda and Bhagirath. Alakananda, Bhagirath, these are the two streams. These two streams, no, joined in the Devaprayag. From Devaprayag, no, Ganga river will be start. Like what I'm telling here, no, which are the rivers are originated in Himalayan mountains, no, Ganga, Indus, Brahmaputra, no. So these rivers, no, so originated in the Himalayan mountains, flowing through the dunes. So flowing through the dunes, and some areas will be elaborate. So these rivers are while flowing from Himadri, Himachal, Shivalik, no, these rivers are bringing the alluvium soil, sediments, pebbles, alluvium soils are bringing and deposited in the foot of the Himalayan mountains. Deposited in the foot of the Himalayan mountains. So already we were discussing in the 9th class how the present landforms are formed, how the present physical features, physical divisions are formed. We discussed in the 9th class how the deserts are formed, how the plains are formed, how the plateaus are formed, how the mountains were formed. Already we were discussed how the deltas are formed, how the gorges are formed. So we were discussing in the 9th class, 2nd chapter. Once again, you open the 9th class text. I think most of the students are forgot it. Once you read how the present landforms are formed, how the present physical features are formed, we were discussing in the 9th class. Once you remind, right? So the many millions of years ago. So, which are the rivers are originated in the Himalayan mountain? These rivers are brought while flowing, no, brought alluvium, sediments, pebbles, gravels, brought and deposited in the foot of the Shivalik range. In foot of, already I said, 20 million years ago, no, foot of the Himalayan mountains, no, shallow land. Shallow means low land. This low land was filled with alluvium soil. How the where it is so from where we brought this alluvium? These are the perennial rivers are brought from Himalayan mountains and deposited in the foot of the Shivalik range. So then these Indo-Gangetic plains are formed by with these three rivers. Okay, what is the Indo-Gangetic plains feature is completely no. So the feature of Indo-Gangetic plain are foot of the Shivalik range. Foot of the Shivalik area, foot of the Shivalik area or Indo-Gangetic plain area. What is the feature of the soil? The nature of the soil is no, that is Babar. What is that? Babar. I have written here. Note down in your notebook. Babar feature. So already we will discuss no the Doe feature. Doe means no the fertile soil, the fertile land, alluvium land between two rivers is called Doe feature. So the foot of the Shivalik range, no, or Indo-Gangetic area, no, the what is the feature, no, Babar feature. Babar feature, no, porous nature. Porous nature. The foot of the Shivalik range is here, you know, porous nature. Porous means, no, alluvium soil and some of the gravels. Gravel means like white stones. So completely porous nature in the. So in that forest, in Babar areas, no, small streams also flowing, small rivers also flowing. So flowing in that small rivers and streams are flowing underground through the Babar and reappearing appear in low areas and formed as a swampy and marshy lands. What I am telling here, see, then when which are the rivers are flowing down, deposited gravel, pebble, sediments in the foot of the Shivalik range. So these feature. What is the feature of the soil? You know, foot of the Shivalik range. You know, Babar feature. Babar is it's a one kind of feature. Then in the Babar so areas, no, small rivers and streams flowing underground through Babar, which are small streams, rivers flowing onto the Babar and underground, in where the lowland areas now filled with water and formed as a swampy, swampy lands, swampy, marshy lands. So this kind of land form is called as a terai. Swampy and marshy lands are called terai. These kind of features located in the foot of the Shivalik range area, foot of the Himalayan mountains area. Terai. So terai means nothing but swampy and marshy land is called terai. One more question this is. What is mean by terai? What is mean by, so what is Babar? What is terai? One more questions, very important. Several times I asked these questions. So I said in the beginning of the lesson what I taught, most of the questions from first chapter only. So you write in your notebook, please note down. What is Babar? What is terai? One more questions. Maybe sometimes he'll ask for multiple choice question also. So very important. What is Babar? What is terai? Babar is nothing but porous nature. Porous nature means, so in foot of the Shivalik range or foot of the Himalayan mountains, no? So then formed with the alluvium, pebble, sediment, gravels and deposited in the foot of the Shivalik range. That kind of feature of soil is called Babar. In the Babar, no, some small streams, small rivers are flowing in the underground, where the lowlands are there, no, filled with water, formed as a swampy, marshy lands. That kind of land form is called as a terai. Swampy and marshy lands are called as a terai. That kind of feature of land soil is called terai. So this is lands are terai zones or terai lands. So completely alluvium soils, completely alluvium, gravels, pebbles. So because of many rivers are originated, see that no, Ganga, Indus, Brahmaputra originated in Himadri range, greater Himalayas. So the streams are coming from greater Himalayas. When the glaciers are melting, no, so by melting, no, water is flowing down. When it is flowing down, no, along with the water, no, pebbles are coming. So this water is bringing the pebbles, sediments, soil Fine soil. When you observe, no, after the rain, once you see the most of the who had agriculture, no. So when you're going to the forest area, when you're going to agriculture field, no, once you see the stream, once you observe the stream. So after dry the stream, once you touch the soil, how is the soil now? Very fine soil. Once when you're going to the agriculture field, when you're going to outside, no, once you observe one stream, after dried up the stream, no, once you touch the soil, ఒకసారి ఆ వాగుల్లో వంకల్లో కాలువల్లో once you touch the soil is very fertile. ఇంత స్మూత్ గా ఉంటుంది చూడండి, once you very smooth. So that soil is deposited in the foot of the Himalayan mountains. So which are the rivers are flowing down? These rivers are bringing sediment, pebbles, gravels, alluvium and deposited in the foot of the Shivalik and formed as a plains. These plains are called as a Indo-Gangetic plains. In Indo-Gangetic plains, no, what is the nature of the soil? No, Barber nature and Terai nature. The land nature of the soil nature is Barber and Terai. So this is about the Indo-Gangetic plains. So once again I remind, Indo-Gangetic plains are consisting of 3 divisions: western part, central part, eastern part. Western part was formed by Indus, central part formed by Ganga river. Central part of Indo-Gangetic plain is also called as a Ganga. Eastern part of Gangetic plain is formed by Brahmaputra. Right? So this is about the Indo-Gangetic plain. Next, coming to the next topic, very important topic, peninsular plateau. Next part is a peninsular plateau. So first you should know that what is mean by plateau. Anybody? Do not know. So plateau, once, how many students you know, once think yourself. Say frankly, say that no, what is mean by plateau? So once you not searching Google, what is mean by plateau? Plateau already we were studied in 5th class, 6th class, 4th. Plateau means 3 sides of water, 1 side is land, is called as a plateau. India is a, sorry, no, not peninsula, sorry for that. So what is mean by peninsula? I asked for plateau, no, sorry. So what is mean by peninsula? Peninsula. What is mean by peninsula? Peninsula is 3 sides of water, 1 side land. So plateau means the high land is called. The height above from the plains is called as a plateau. So we will discuss generally, and I said, not for accurate definitions. Okay, peninsular plateau. What is mean by peninsula? Peninsula means the 3 sides of water, 1 side land is called as a peninsula. Peninsular plateau. Next we will discuss about the peninsular plateau. Right now, peninsular plateau, very important topic. Third physical features of our India. Third physical divisions of our India. Peninsular plateau. Peninsula means India is a peninsula. So 3 sides of water. 3 sides of water. Here Arabian Sea, Bay of Bengal, Indian Ocean. This is peninsula. So Indian peninsular plateau. Okay, peninsular Indian plateau. So is also known as a peninsular plateau. Indian plateau system is also known as a Indian peninsular plateau. Okay, then how it is Indian peninsular plateau system was completely composed? How this landform was formed? So how it is composed? No, completely it was composed by old crystalline, hard igneous rocks. So previous igneous rocks already we studied in 9th class. So in 2nd chapter we were discussed igneous rocks and metamorphic rock. So completely, so peninsular plateau was composed with old crystalline rocks, igneous rocks and metamorphic rocks. So the plenty of metallic and non-metallic minerals are found in Indian plateau. The plenty of mineral resources are found in Chota Nagpur plateau. Plenty of mineral resources are found in Indian plateau. Plenty of mineral resources. So what I am telling once again, listen carefully. So third physical division of our India is the peninsular plateau. Indian plateau is also known as peninsular plateau. This plateau system is located in the, so mostly in the three peninsula areas, no? That's why it is called as a peninsular plateau. This peninsular plateau was composed with old crystalline rocks, odd igneous rocks, metamorphic rocks. When we observed these peninsular plateau, Indian plateau, no, the topography of Indian plateau, no, when we observe the complete Indian plateau system, the topography of Indian plateau or peninsular plateau topography is slightly tilted towards the east. Slightly tilted towards the east. West, you know, the west it is appearing high. When you are westward to when you are running towards the east, no, it will be slight, just slope. West side is more height, and when you are going to the east side, no, it is slope. Understand what I am telling? The topography of peninsular plateau is slightly tilted towards the east. See, the peninsular plateau is also known as a Indian plateau system. Indian plateau. So Indian plateau is composed with old crystalline rocks, hard igneous rocks, metamorphic rocks. So the nature of the these plateau. So completely this plateau was how it is composed. The land of the plateau is old crystalline, hard igneous, metamorphic rocks. So composition of these peninsular plateau. The composition of peninsular plateau. How the composition was happened? So with weathering, erosion, transportation, deposition. Once you remain in 9th class, how the present landforms are formed? Which process these present landforms are formed? How it is formed? Because of weathering, erosion, transportation, deposition. Like that also, this peninsular plateau was formed with or composition of old crystalline rocks, hard igneous rocks, metamorphic rocks. No, this is formed. Peninsular plateau system is completely formed. The topography of this peninsular plateau, so it is from west to east, no, slightly tilted towards the east. So west no height, when you are going to eastwards, no, it is slope. Okay, right. See, then completely the eastern these peninsular plateau, no, consisting of two broad divisions. Consisting of two broad divisions. What are the divisions? No, the complete Indian plateau system is divided into two broad divisions. Consisting of two divisions. There is a two divisions in the Indian plateau system, peninsular plateau system. What are the two? Okay, right. The peninsular plateau is consisting of two broad divisions. One is Central Highland. Second one is Deccan Plateau. So Central Highland. The Central Highland, so consisting of Malwa Plateau, Central Highlands, no, Malwa Plateau. So Malwa Plateau, when we observe the Indian map, once you, I said already, once you, so while you are listening also, or you see the Atlas book, Atlas in that physical features of India. So physical map, once you see that. So where is Malwa Plateau? Where is Chota Nagpur Plateau? Where is the Deccan Plateau? Once you open the Atlas book, see the R in Google. Once you see the physical map of India, where is Malwa Plateau? Where is Chota Nagpur Plateau? Where is the Deccan Plateau? Okay, these are Central Highlands. So Central Highland, no, that is Malwa Plateau. See, when we observe on the physical map of India, no, so the south of Indo-Gangetic plain, where it is located, these central highlands are where it is located, no, central highlands are located, no, south of Indo-Gangetic plain, south of the southern part of Indo-Gangetic plain, the Indo-Gangetic plain kinda anamata, south, the south of the Indo-Gangetic plain, no, central highlands are located, central south of the Indo-Gangetic plain, north of the river Narmada, north of river Narmada. You understand? Once you see the map, you can understand very easily. So once I will show the textbook once. So in back side, once you see the textbook once, page number 10. See, south of the Ganga plain or Gangetic plain, north of the river Narmada. Narmada river is here. ఇక్కడ ఉంటుంది నర్మదా రివర్. నర్మదా రివర్ పైన Gangetic plain kinda central highlands are located. Central highland is nothing but Malwa plateau. Malwa plateau. Central highland is located south of the Ganga or Gangetic plain, north of the river Narmada. So in that we can find out. So once you see the page number 10 in the page number 10 physical map of India is given. North of Narmada river, south of Ganga plain, in between central highland is located, that is, so Malwa plateau is located. So for the so Malwa plateau on the west side, where is Malwa plateau is located? West side. For example, this is India map, so this is not a perfect. So here Malwa plateau, Malwa plateau located west side. Here Chota Nagpur plateau. So not for this accurate. So UP. So once again, 1 minute. Here Malwa plateau. Here Chota Nagpur plateau. Malwa plateau is Malwa plateau on the west side. West side. So Chota Nagpur plateau is the east side. Okay. Then the east side is Chota Nagpur plateau. Chota Nagpur plateau is there plenty of mineral resources. Plenty of mineral resources. No, completely it is the say Chota Nagpur plateau is east side. West Malwa plateau is west side. Malwa plateau is also central highland. See, once again I will tell you that. So Indian peninsular system is divided into two divisions. One is a central highland, one is Deccan plateau. Central highland is also called Malwa plateau. So central highland where it is located north of the Narmada river, south of the Ganga plain, south of Ganga plain. In that Malwa plateau is located. Malwa plateau is the west side. So the east part of Malwa plateau there is a Chota Nagpur plateau. Chota Nagpur plateau plenty of mineral resources are found in the Chota Nagpur plateau. East side is Chota Nagpur plateau. So in Indian plateau on the Indian plateau or peninsular plateau, most of the people who are depending on rains, who are living on the peninsular plateau, who are living in the plains, good fertile soil, many rivers are flowing, many projects are constructed, so the plenty of water available in the plains area. But in plateau, plateau is very height area. So the height above from the sea level is called plateau. And plateau, who are living on the plateau, so those who are living on the plateau, they were depending on rains, wells and tube wells. So which rivers are originated in the plateau, that rivers are not perennial rivers. Which rivers are originated in the plateau, that rivers are not non-perennial rivers. Perennial, what is mean by perennial? 365 days flowing of water is called perennial. 365 రోజులు ప్రవహిస్తున్న దాన్నే మనం పెరినియల్ అంటాం మనం. Throughout the year flowing of water, flowing of river is called as a perennial river. Non-perennial means seasonally So which rivers are originated in the Deccan Plateau or Chota Nagpur Plateau or Malwa Plateau? No, the rivers not perennial rivers. Why? When the rainy season time, no, these rivers are flowing. Summer season, no, it will be dry up. So these rivers will dry up. Only rainy season, no, rivers are flows. That's why these rivers are not perennial rivers. So who are living on the Indian plateau or Chota Nagpur Plateau, Malwa Plateau, Deccan Plateau, no, who are living on the plateaus, no, they were depending on tanks, wells and tube wells, no, they were depends. See, plenty of mineral resources are no found in the plateaus also. Metallic and non-metallic minerals also found in the, especially for most. So Chota Nagpur Plateau is a plenty of mineral resources. Okay. Then south of the Narmada River, there is a one land. So second we will discuss about the Deccan Plateau. Deccan Plateau. Where is Deccan Plateau? No, south of the Narmada River. This is Narmada River. South of Narmada River, there is a triangle of landform. Triangle landform. Triangle shape of landform, that is Deccan Plateau. Deccan Plateau. See, the south of the Narmada, a triangular landmass is called as a Deccan Plateau. See, Deccan Plateau, so located south of the Narmada. So west side is Western Ghats, east side is the Eastern Ghats. In between, among that, no, one land mass was formed, that is Deccan Plateau. Between Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats, north is Narmada, the south of Narmada, Deccan Plateau. It means Deccan Plateau north boundary is Narmada River. Deccan Plateau north boundary is Narmada River. Narmada River ku south lo untundi. Deccan Plateau ku Narmada River ekkada untundi? It is in north. Okay, south of Narmada River, or means no. So north side is Narmada River, west side is Western Ghats, east side is the Eastern Ghats. No, a triangular landmass is called as a Deccan Plateau. So when we observe, no, there is one more. So Satpura range also here, northern side, no, the Deccan Plateau north area. For Deccan Plateau, north edges, no, there is one range. Range is nothing but mountain. So there is one range, Deccan Plateau north edges. Deccan Plateau north edges, no, there is one range. That is Satpura range. Very important map. Sometimes he'll ask that where is so in map painting. So locate the Satpura range in the outline map of India. Right now, the northern edge, north edges, no, the north edge of the Deccan Plateau, no, there is a Satpura range. Satpura range. Western edges, no, Western Ghats. Eastern edges, no, Eastern Ghats. Western, no, Western Ghats. East, no, Eastern Ghats. North edges, no, that is Satpura range. So then there are many ranges also there in the north. Mahadeva range. Satpura range, small ranges. Satpura ranges, no. Mahadeva range. Kaimur range. Mahadeva range. Kaimur range. In the north edges, no, Satpura ranges, Mahadeva range, Kaimur range. In the north edge of the Deccan Plateau, Satpura range, Mahadeva range, Kaimur range. West, no, Western Ghats, east, no, Eastern Ghats. Okay, this is the boundary of Deccan Plateau. What are the Deccan Plateau boundaries? North edges, no, Satpura range, Mahadeva range, Kaimur range, west, no, Western Ghats, east, no, Eastern Ghats. So among that, no, there is a landmass, that is a Deccan Plateau. Deccan Plateau, how it is located? Triangular landmass. Triangular landmass. So that is a third physical division, Peninsular Plateau. Peninsular Plateau. So now next we will discuss about the So Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats.